why don't we line you up with a just an overall update on the recruiting scene with, again, 5 weeks to National Signing Day.
Yeah, I need to write a class breakdown, but those have been kind of few and far between this year because there just hasn't been much going on. You know, you set the majority of the class early, and then there's not been much movement. But I think that that's about to change coming up now. Obviously, the big news is Justin Flo, 5-star linebacker, top 5 player in the country, number 1 linebacker in the country, top 5 overall player, took his official visit to Miami last weekend, and he had glowing remarks for his time there. Obviously, it was his first official visit, so there's other visits to be taken, especially to his presumed leaders of Clemson this upcoming weekend. So that is a little unsettling, but Miami is not – you're not basing everything off of going after Justin Flo. And I did see some people – what up, Dennis Wilson? Oh, yeah, sorry, what up, though? That's a typical Detroit greeting for you guys. Justin Flo would be the cherry on top. And I know that he would be like, everything – he's so good that he would impact this team in this roster in such a massive way. But Miami already has 3 linebackers committed. You already offered the Green kid who was or is committed to Florida State. You've already offered a couple other guys, Ruben Hippolyte, who's a local kid that we wrote about previously, and things like that. There are other options out there. So if Miami wants to go get a 4th linebacker, there are ways to go with that. None of them are as good as Justin Flo, though. So, I mean, there was somebody on Twitter, Mitch Purdue, his name is Canes Tapes now because his other account got squashed. But he's saying, Flo or somebody in his camp told Miami that he's not coming. So, go elsewhere. I have not heard that. I would not necessarily be surprised by that. But, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And you got the kid on campus. It's his second time down here. His family does come down here on vacations and everything. You're selling something a little bit different. And I know that the season was not great and everything, but I'm willing to stick it out for a little bit longer for a player of that caliber, me, myself, personally. Now, if that, is true that he's already said that or told the staff he's not coming, then clearly, yeah, you move on. But I don't have that knowledge. I associate with Mitch on Twitter enough, but I don't know who he talked to or anything, so I can't say with any veracity whether that's true or not. But I would say still stick it out for another couple of weeks. And Manny Diaz has not visited Justin Flo yet in home, so I know that Justin Flo is going to sign early. So hey, yeah, take a shot. Jaylen Harrell, local guy, Champagnat Catholic. He also was on an official visit this past weekend. Had really great things to say, him and his parents and everything from his time there. I think that Miami is probably going to be the pick for him, which would be great for a kid who's 6'2", 180, and probably has a frame to be up around 200 pounds and pretty chiseled. Very good player. Was formerly committed to Florida State in the secondary, so that's a guy who's good. Somebody I saw the question was asking about Jaden Francois. Jaden Francois is going, he's a 2-time commit, which means he's a 2-time decommit from Miami as well. But he has scheduled a few official visits, and one of them is to the University of Miami. That's going to be on the big recruiting weekend in 4 weeks, which is the week before national signing or early signing period. So that's basically when all the recruits or all the commits, the long-term commits, are coming down that weekend, the December 13th weekend or whatever. So, we'll see what happens. I know that some people are saying they wouldn't take Jaden Francois back in this class since he's been in and out twice. Jaden Francois apparently is trying to tell Miami, I'm still committed, but I'm looking around and everything. But Miami's like, nah, buddy, you're not committed. So, a spot might not be guaranteed to you. Is he a player who can play here? Yes. Would I end up taking him in this class? Sure. Are you saying to yourself, but Cam, that probably means that he would leave in the transfer portal anyway down the line? Look, if a player is going to leave, a player is going to leave. But I want the best players possible. So if you have a spot for Jaylen Harrell and you have a spot for Jaden Francois, give me them both. Now, if I have to choose between them, that gets a little bit more dicey. Just because, Jaylen Harrell is a bigger physical guy. So you think, okay, maybe you want that dude who's a little bit bigger. Jaden Francois tied the South Florida record or Dade County record with 12 interceptions as a junior when he was playing corner. But, he has some coverage ability, obviously, but he's probably going to kick inside the safety at this level. So there's things like that are going on. And Miami is really just, shooting their shot with so many different guys. Marlon Martinez is a LSU commit offensive lineman from St. Thomas. He's a guy who came in for unofficial. Marcus Dumerville from St. Thomas, 4-star offensive tackle. He came in for unofficial for the game last weekend. He's not coming to Miami, though, so I wouldn't even, entertain that thought just because I don't think he's ever been slotted to come to Miami. So there's a lot going on. Jalen Knighton, he's been around. He's going to take an official visit later to Miami. He decommitted from Florida State after they fired Willie Taggart. There's a bunch of guys. Hey, I would even like to see Miami take a run at a guy like a Darren Turner from Memphis, who's committed to Arkansas, who just decommitted today. That's a 4-star wide receiver at, was he 6'4", 6'5"? If he wants in, maybe we can talk about it. But apparently there's other guys around at wide receiver. Douglas Emilien from American Heritage, Daslin Worsham from Alabama, who was formerly committed to Alabama, who already took an official visit to Miami earlier in the summer. There are options. So, the board is expanding a little bit in some places because obviously you have to find the guys that you want. And if you're going to miss out on certain guys, that means you got to expand the board and look at other places. So that's a conversation I was having with Andrew Vasquez on Twitter as well. But yeah, there's a lot of things ongoing. So we'll see what happens.